Astrology aesthetic. From the stars we came, into the stars we rise. Oh.
This is Astrology Aesthetic, the space where you claim your power, align with your purpose, and remember who you are. I'm Kiki, and together we'll work with the stars to awaken your highest timeline. And guess who's here with me?
I'm back again.
It's Clay. So we're actually diving further in depth over these next 3 episodes. They're going to be a little bit of a mini-series from Astrology 101.
Yes, the last episode.
Yep, where we
episode
talked
3.
about your cookbook, broke down planets, houses, and zodiacs. This episode, we're going in depth on planets.
Yes.
So
diving deeper, getting more repetition, more familiarity with what each one means. So it'll be helpful to you when you're reading your charts.
Let's go for it, starseeds. All right, we'll just start right off with the sun. It's the protein.
It's usually, usually how my day starts.
That was funny. Oh my gosh. So the protein in astrology is the sun, and the reason is it's the core identity of a person. Okay, so an example in a dish, think steak, salmon, tofu. You're building around that in a dish. Okay, so a life example is like your sun energy shows in the projects you feel called to, the confidence that you bring to your relationships, or the flavor of leadership you naturally express. So in astrology, the sun is very core identities.
So kind of like how you show up in each situation or how people perceive you.
Not quite how people perceive you.
Okay.
So how people perceive you, just because it's not a planet, but this does actually relate because it's a great point. That's your ascending sign. So how you come off to other people.
Okay. So
we'll dive into that in the next episode during houses.
Okay.
But in this specific instance with the sun in astrology is also, key character and personality traits that you're meant to work through in this lifetime.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun. We'll go through all of that when we know more about what the zodiac sign you have your sun sign in to make more sense.
Okay.
So for right now, core personality traits.
Core personality traits. Okay.
Yep.
What's the next one?
The next one is the moon. So that's the fat and the comfort. So in a dish, think things like butter and cream. So with the sun being protein, let's use steak for an example. You're cooking the steak in butter, or you're cooking the salmon with some olive oil, okay? It's the flavor archetype. It adds the richness and emotional depth to your inner comfort layer. So in astrology, the moon is how you process emotions. And when I first learned about the moon sign, it was actually really great for me because I did not identify as a Virgo at all. I'm a Virgo sun, okay? But my moon is in another sign. And I'm like, I just don't understand why I'm reading through an Instagram where it says Virgo is this and Aries is this, those ones.
Yeah.
Never related to it. But when I read the Sagittarius one, because I'm a Sagittarius moon,
okay,
I identified more with that one than I did with the Virgo.
Okay.
Because that's how I internally feel and process emotion.
That's interesting. Okay.
Right? So you're starting to understand the complexity here of astrology. Yeah. And we're just 2 planets in.
What's the third?
So the third is Mercury. And in a dish, the ingredient is zest. So think lemon zest, okay? It brightens it up. It's one of those archetypes that is sharp. You can't miss it. And that's the mental spice. So what Mercury itself actually does is how you process things intellectually, how you think, and how you communicate.
Okay.
So
how you use your brain, basically, to communicate with others or process internally via thinking.
Yeah. So think of this as like some people communicate very abrasively while others are more passive.
Okay.
That can have a lot to do with what sign they have Mercury in.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, we have Venus. So this is the sweetness, this ingredient like sugar. Okay. So it's smooth, it enriches, it brings pleasure. So Venus itself is about love, money, just the basics, love and money. Let's go with that. Okay. And an example is how you show up in love, what you find beautiful, what makes you feel pampered. It's kind of that luxury planet,
Okay.
right?
Like, is that aligned with like maybe your love languages? Or
Possibly.
am I going down a rabbit hole or
A little
big
bit,
tangent?
which actually leads us into the next planet.
Okay.
So it's not a full on yes, but it's also not a full on no.
Okay.
So Mars is how you. So, okay, the flavor or the ingredient for this is spice. So think like peppercorns. Okay, so Mars itself is about energy, drive, it's action, it's the kick. Okay, so maybe Venus could be how you receive love,
Okay.
and Mars is about how you show love.
Okay.
Because Mars is the action planet.
That makes sense. Okay.
So it's your fiery side.
The spicy,
Yeah.
spicy side of life.
Yeah. So next up is Jupiter, carbs and expansion. So think things like bread or rice. It literally expands in your stomach. It makes you feel full. That's exactly what Jupiter does. It's generous, it's filling, and it's expansive energy. So that's why last episode when I mentioned it's the abundance, it's the expansion of, you can have an abundance of wealth, yes, but you can also have an abundance of love, an abundance of joy. You understand now. It's just expansion.
Okay.
Okay?
Not of a specific thing, just
Right.
in general.
Yeah, an abundance of learning opportunities. Like we can go down every describing
Angle.
situation. Yeah. Okay. Next we've got Saturn. So Saturn is salt. It's the structure, right? So let's use something cute like Himalayan pink salt.
Okay.
Okay.
So cute.
That's so cute. So Saturn is about discipline, boundaries, stability, and a really good example is that so Saturn is the salt that holds everything together, but it's also where you lean into responsibility and structure.
Okay.
Okay, so think of the life example of areas that you're responsible in. Depending on the sign, it could be you feel like an overbearing weight of responsibility on your plate, or you're someone that needs to grow into and learn responsibility.
Okay.
Okay? So
very different things,
Yeah.
but still responsibility
right.
aligned.
So next we've got Uranus, which is bitter and surprise. So think things like matcha, cacao, espresso. So Uranus itself is about innovation, rebellion, and sudden shifts. So I love Uranus. It's the way I describe it is expect the unexpected. It's the plot twist. It's so good for the plot. So Uranus is it's that unexpected phone call or opportunity that could flip your whole day. And it also is there to remind you you're there to break free from the routine and embrace change.
That makes sense. This one's, being bitter, surprising. Like that ties a lot with a sudden shift. Could be bitter.
Yeah.
Could be a heartbreak type situation,
Yeah.
or like a bittersweet is what I was gonna say
For
situation, or
And here's why I like the example of espresso or cacao. Actually, all of these are all caffeinated, which is Uranus is probably going to get your heart beating a little bit in one way or another.
that makes sense. Yeah, it's a little stimulating.
Yeah. So next we've got what do we got? Neptune. Okay. So Neptune is floral and dreamy. Think flavors or notes like lavender, rose, jasmine tea. So the archetype of it is its imagination, its intuition, its spiritual connection. Neptune is really like Neptune is that bitch, you know? Like it's let's connect. Let's up in the clouds type energy. And so an example is that moment you're losing yourself in music. Like it's hitting so good. Like Billie Eilish's Wildflower. Every time. Never skip. Or daydreams, you know. It's like
imaginative, spiritual connection.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And lastly, we have Pluto. So Pluto is acid in a dish. It's transformative. So things like vinegar or fermented foods. Okay. So it's deeply transformative, as mentioned. It's intense and it holds a power. So if you know anything about cooking, my mom actually taught me if you bought some tough chicken at the store or something, you put a little apple cider vinegar in it and it kind of breaks down the protein. That's literally what Pluto's all about. It's the breakdown before the breakthrough. So it's the intense purge that pulls away what no longer serves so that you can rise renewed. And it's the classic phoenix rising from the ashes, right? So those are all really, good analogies for the acid. And with Pluto. Pluid is fluo.
Okay, yeah, what she said.
So again, each planet brings a unique, flavor and aspect to your life dish, okay? So over the next episode, we're going to dive into the courses, your houses, and we're going to see how that changes whatever the planet lands in. Okay, and so as a starseed, remember these ingredients are your soul's gifts. Each one is a piece of your power sent from the stars, and the point is to learn how to work with them. And again, if this is the astrology kitchen and we're in culinary school, like we're learning how each of these ingredients affects a dish as a whole.
Yeah, that's where, it's hard sometimes because it seems like, okay, cool, Pluto's deep transformation, intensity, power, but I think the analogy is helpful thinking of that in context of a dish.
Yeah.
And you're right, like it's just a piece of the way it affects the final product or the outcome or your life.
And the biggest thing is, again, pick one of these that you feel called to or most intrigued by and dive in and learn about that a little more. Like, use Google. Totally tell me about the spiritual aspects of Neptune and see what comes up. There's so much information out there and there's loads of books. Again, go with whatever your gut says based on what you feel called to, because that's going to give you the information that your soul is trying to communicate to you.
Yeah, that's fair. You don't need to be a total astrology, practitioner and know everyone and spout it off the top of your head.
Yeah.
It's more important you're led and guided by what's calling you.
Yeah, and that's essential for starseeds, because if we're not tuning in to ourselves in the way our soul is guiding us here, we're missing out because we already have all the answers. It's just about tuning in.
It's powerful.
Yeah. So also, if you're interested, we've got our astrology aesthetic swag and merch. We'll link it in the bio. And you know what words are coming up, don't you?
I think so.
Why don't you take it away?
Because I forgot.
And that's why we keep repeating it.
Yes.
So repeat after me. I am my power sent from the stars.
I am my power sent from the stars.
Yeah, you are. Until next time when we dive into the houses. See ya.
See ya.